Spoiler alert.
This is a spoiler alert. If you don't want to hear any spoilers, put your fingers in your ears.
I've decided to live in the present, not spend my life regretting the past or dreading the future.
Mary, having recovered from her grief in season 4, she knows now by season 5 that there is another marriage to be made. She will marry again. She doesn't know whom exactly, but it will happen again.
I'd like to marry again. I've come that far. But I intend to be as happy with my second husband as I was with my first.
But I think a second marriage is so much more complicated than the first. Suddenly there's a body of experience to draw on. There are questions. This is now a sexually experienced Mary in the way that she was sexually inexperienced before. And, and of course to a modern audience, it's very understandable for her to say, well, I'm not just going to rush into this. I have to know that every aspect of this relationship would work. And fortunately, it's Gillingham who comes up with a sort of smart way of saying, well, let's test all this out.
I want you to come away, just for a week, maybe less, but on our own. And we'll spend the days talking.
And the nights?
We'll spend those together too.
I love the way that she describes it as being actually rather a scandalous suggestion. And he says, but hang on, I'm asking you to marry me and I'm giving you an opportunity for a test run. I'm not trying to seduce you. And I think, it all feels, to my mind, very acceptable.
If Papa was here, he'd hit you on the nose.
I'm trying to convince you to marry me. That's not the normal purpose of seducers.
I don't think he'd see it that way.
The decision-making factor put a great weight on her because, of course, there was the danger of getting pregnant. And if she wasn't married, it's a big thing to explain away. So when they look eye to eye, Gillingham is playing a high-stakes game, but he's asking her to play an even higher stakes game.
Your ladyship,
tomorrow.
might I have a word? I'm very sorry to say it, but I've learned something that makes me feel both responsible and guilty.
Would this have to do with Baxter?
I really like that scene because Thomas is thinking on his feet, but he knows that she knows, so he's got to think fast. I really enjoyed seeing it because we saw Thomas being slowly squashed in that scene and there was nothing he could do about it.
What I don't understand is why you placed a convicted felon in my household, in my bedroom, when you knew every detail of her past.
I wanted her to have another chance.
Don't you think that should have been my decision in my own house?
Yes, milady, perhaps it should.
But you could see behind the eyes he was raging, but he has to take it because this is his employer.
If you've been using your knowledge against her, I'll have to consider your future here, Barrow, indeed whether you have one at all.
Lady Grantham owned him in that scene, as you guys say over here.
Good night.
She gave him the smackdown.
It's exciting, those sort of shoots. There were lots of firemen on set, obviously, which is always fun. And there are a couple of moments where it felt a bit frightening, but really, you knew you were safe and you're in an environment that was very controlled.
Here, Tom! It was great. It wasn't nearly as scary and heroic as it looks on screen. And obviously we couldn't burn down Highclere Castle, so it was very safely controlled and much less dramatic than it looks.
I get to work with Rob James-Collier. The flames did get quite high and it does get quite hot.
Oh, to have a fire was quite good, and it's probably taken 10 years off my life, but hey, I'm not bitter. To jump over a fire, even though the fire was only a foot high, made me feel like a man again. Yeah.
All clear now, my lord, and no real damage beyond Lady Edith's bedroom.
Well, that's something. It was great fun. Gave us a bit of a sense of adventure at the castle.